You ready? Let's jump in. This team is at a fork in the road. Andy Reid has built something pretty remarkable when it comes to what happens after a bye week. Across Philadelphia and Kansas City, Reid is 22-4 in games coming out of a bye. And that's not a small sample fluke. That's a trend that changes how you look at the schedule and, frankly, why optimism is totally justified even if the standings look messy right now. So here's the setup. The Chiefs went into the bye 5-4 after a tough loss in Buffalo. That record puts them behind in the AFC West and makes the next stretch of games feel like a make-or-break window for this season. But the bigger point, and what we're going to dig into in this video, is how Reid tends to use that time off to reset the game plan, clean up issues, and get players healthy enough to make a late push. What I want you to hold on to through this episode is three simple things. 1. Reid's bye-week results give the Chiefs a proven roadmap for a comeback. 2. The roster should be healthier after the break. And 3. There are real matchups ahead where getting pieces back could flip outcomes. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you the key names, the matchups that matter, and a few X factors Reid can lean on. Quick reality check. This season's been messy in a way we didn't expect. The Chiefs had some strong stretches. That 30-17 win over Detroit and the 31-0 throttling of the Raiders were reminders of what this team can be. But there have also been head-scratching losses and inconsistency. That inconsistency is exactly what a well-timed bye can help correct. On the health front, some pieces who've been missing time are expected to come back after the break. That matters. When you combine Reid's ability to simplify or tweak the plan after a week off with a healthier roster, you get a time frame where the Chiefs could look very different and more dangerous than they did in early November. I'll unpack those return timelines and who matters most in the next chapter. Now, before we move on, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Total Chiefs News. We're pushing to hit 6,000 subscribers, and your subscription and a quick like help us get there and keep delivering breakdowns like this. Also, I want to know what you think right now. Drop a quick comment. Do you trust Reid's bye-week magic? Yes or no? That's the first poll I want to see in the comments for this video. Alright, let's pick up right where we left off. The bye week came at the perfect time. Because when you look at where the Kansas City Chiefs stand right now, it's pretty clear this team is walking a tightrope between staying in the playoff picture and slipping into a fight just to get in. Coming out of the bye, Kansas City sits at 5-4. And that's not a record we're used to seeing in the Patrick Mahomes era. For the first time in a long time, the Chiefs entered the bye not at the top of the AFC West, but looking up at the Denver Broncos and Los Angeles Chargers. That's unusual territory, right? Normally, this team has a cushion, but this time the cushion's gone. Every game from here on out has postseason implications. Now, what makes this stretch fascinating is how Andy Reid has historically used these moments. Think back to other mid-season stumbles, 2021, 2022. Both times, the Chiefs came out of the bye with sharper game plans and a renewed sense of urgency. That's Reid's trademark. He turns pressure into precision. The urgency is also about rhythm. This team has been inconsistent offensively. One week, the Chiefs are carving defenses up. The next week, they're struggling to hit basic routes. Some of that's been due to injuries and suspensions, and we'll dig deeper into that next. But part of it has just been execution. Kansas City has to find its offensive identity again, and Reid knows it. The bye gives him time to adjust, reset timing between Mahomes and his receivers, and maybe simplify a few concepts that haven't clicked yet. Defensively, they've held their own more often than not, but when your offense stalls, even good defenses crack. You could see it against Buffalo. Too many short drives, too many quick punts. The defense can't carry everything. That's where the urgency multiplies. This offense doesn't have the same margin for error as in previous seasons. Here's what I'd like you to do. Comment below what you honestly expect from the rest of the regular season. Are you expecting Kansas City to take back the AFC West crown, grab a wild card spot, or are you worried this year could slip away? Let's make it fun. Type 1 if you still believe we'll win the division, or 2 if you think we'll have to settle for a wild card. And don't forget, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button right now. Our community goal is 6,000 subscribers, and your support keeps us growing and producing more Chiefs coverage every single week. Up next, we'll talk about what might be the biggest factor in this whole turnaround: the injury report. Who's coming back, who's done for the season, and how that changes everything going forward. Okay, let's talk about something that's been quietly shaping this entire Chiefs season: availability. Because let's be real, the Kansas City Chiefs we've been watching haven't been the Kansas City Chiefs we expected to see. Between suspensions, nagging injuries, and some unlucky timing, the roster we've seen on the field hasn't been at full strength for weeks. But, coming out of the bye, that's finally starting to change. Let's start with the headline: Rashee Rice. His 6-game suspension has been one of the biggest factors in this offense looking out of rhythm. Without him, Patrick Mahomes lost a reliable, physical wideout who could move the chains on crucial downs. The good news? That suspension clock keeps ticking. And once he's eligible to return, you can expect an instant impact. Not just in catches, but in spacing. Defenses have been bracketing Travis Kelce even more aggressively without Rice there to draw attention. His return changes how teams can double cover. Next up, Xavier Worthy. The rookie's shoulder injury was a setback because his speed was adding something this offense sorely needed: the ability to stretch the field. His status after the bye is trending upward, and while the team will probably be cautious, even limited snaps from Worthy can open up the middle of the field for Kelce and the backs. Now let's talk about Isaiah Pacheco. This guy plays like a human sledgehammer, and that physicality sometimes costs him durability. But coming out of the bye, word is he's expected to be close to full health again. That's huge. When the Chiefs can run with rhythm and force defenses to respect play action, Mahomes becomes unstoppable. On the defensive side, C.J. Simmons could return as soon as mid-November, possibly around the Broncos game. That could stabilize the interior rotation after losing rookie Omar Norman-Lott for the season. The Chiefs even brought back Mike Pennel, a veteran presence who knows the system and can anchor the run defense right away. Here's the bottom line: healthier equals hungrier. This team has been playing short-handed for too long. And now, with key pieces set to return, Andy Reid can actually run the kind of complete game plans he's famous for designing after a bye. Now I've got a question for you. Which returning player do you think will make the biggest impact? Drop it in the comments. Rice, Pacheco, Worthy, or Simmons? Let's see who the Chiefs Kingdom believes will be the spark plug for the second half of the season. And if you're still watching, help us out. Hit that like button and subscribe to Total Chiefs News so we can hit our goal of 6,000 subscribers. Your support is what keeps this channel growing and bringing you real Chiefs talk. Next, we'll get into the fun part: X factors and matchups after the bye. How does this team stack up against upcoming opponents? And what could Reid tweak to give Kansas City an edge right out of the gate? Alright, this is where things get really interesting. Because now that we've covered health and roster depth, it's time to talk about what's next. Coming out of the bye, Kansas City faces a stretch that will define their season. The Broncos, Chargers, and a couple of tough AFC matchups are all on deck, and every single one of them brings a unique challenge. Let's start with the Denver Broncos. This is one of those rivalry games that always carries extra weight. Denver's been playing inspired football lately, solid defense, a rejuvenated run game, but Andy Reid has always had an edge in how he schemes against division opponents. Reid's post-bye adjustments are legendary, and one of his most consistent habits is adding new wrinkles early in drives. Expect something unexpected, maybe a misdirection screen, or a new look involving motion from Worthy or Pacheco. That's vintage Reid, using fresh legs and fresh film to hit defenses where they least expect it. But here's the real X factor: Patrick Mahomes' recalibration. The bye week isn't just for physical rest, it's mental reset time. Mahomes tends to use that break to review tendencies, fix minor mechanical habits, and refine his connection with Travis Kelce. Remember, this offense has been searching for rhythm. With 2 weeks of film study and red zone repackaging, Mahomes could come out firing sharper than we've seen all season. Another element worth watching is the offensive line. Trey Smith has been banged up, but if he returns to full strength, it changes everything for the run game. Reid might lean a little more on the ground attack to keep Mahomes upright and open up deeper passing lanes as the receivers regain chemistry. Defensively, Steve Spagnuolo's unit has a chance to reassert itself as one of the AFC's best. Adding Mike Pennell and possibly getting C.J. Simmons back means the run defense can stabilize, letting Chris Jones and George Karlaftis focus on what they do best: collapsing pockets and forcing turnovers. That's how the Chiefs turn tight games into statement wins. Here's my challenge for you. In the comments, tell me which side of the ball you trust more right now. Offense or defense? Just type O or D. I'll pin one of the best explanations at the top. And while you're there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and help us reach our 6,000 subscriber goal. Every click brings us closer to making Total Chiefs news, the biggest Chiefs community on YouTube. Next up, we'll wrap everything together: the big picture, the expectations, and why Andy Reid's post-bye record gives every Chiefs fan a reason to believe the season isn't just alive, it's about to heat up. So here we are, the road ahead. If you've been following the Chiefs this season, you know it's been anything but smooth. A few frustrating losses, inconsistent offense, key absences. It's felt like a team that hasn't quite found its gear. But here's the thing: this bye week might be the turning point. Andy Reid's post-bye record, 22 wins, just 4 losses, isn't luck. It's preparation, detail, and leadership. Every season, his teams seem to come out sharper, cleaner, and hungrier. That's exactly what Kansas City needs right now. This is when the championship DNA has to show up. The path forward is demanding. The AFC race is tight, and the margin for error is tiny. But the Chiefs still control their own fate. They've got winnable games on the schedule, a quarterback who thrives when people doubt him, and a coaching staff that's proven it can fix problems fast. You know what that means? It's time to turn talk into action. Now, let's be honest about expectations. The first goal is simple: get back to playing Chiefs football. That means efficient drives, balanced offense, and crisp red zone execution. Protect Mahomes. Run with intent. Cut down penalties. You clean those up, and suddenly 5-4 starts to look like 10-7 real quick. Defensively, the mission is just as clear: stay aggressive. With the line getting reinforcements, Spagnuolo can get creative again. More blitzes, more disguise, more pressure looks. This defense doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to set the tone. And that brings us to the fans, to you. Because no matter what's happened so far, the energy of Chiefs Kingdom is what keeps this team moving. The support, the noise, the belief, it all matters. When this team locks in, after a bye, it's a different animal. So here's my challenge as we close this episode. Predict it. Drop your call in the comments. How many wins do you think the Chiefs finish with this season? Go bold. And if you've made it this far into the video, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to Total Chiefs News right now. We're pushing for 6,000 subscribers, and your click literally helps us grow the Chiefs community and keep bringing you breakdowns, updates, and post-game reactions every week. That's it for today's breakdown.